Pokemon Duel trainers, what's the best way to run Altaria? Don't worry, I gotcha. It's showtime.
We could be.
What's up, trainers? It's your host, Professor Showtime here, and today we have a nice episode for you. This episode is going to be a doozy. Guarantee it. We're going to be spotlighting, well, we're going to be talking about Altaria. That's right, Altaria. Now, mark my words, guys. Altaria is the best figure to be released in this banner, bar none. I know there's a lot of hype about Zoroark. I know there's a lot of hype about Guzzlord. I actually covered Zoroark in my past video, but Altaria is going to be a force to be reckoned with. So let's get into it. Let's get plain vanilla. Let's get directly into exactly how the mechanics of Altaria works and why, in my opinion, I feel it is the best Pokemon in this banner. So it is a dragon flying type. The ability is called Fight Song. When this Pokemon is on the field, your dragon type Pokemon and your flying type Pokemon deal plus 10 damage. Really straightforward, right? The ability is really straightforward, and but it's an ability like it's a mega. You know, this is the only normal figure that gives attack boost to other figures that is not a mega. So just as long as this is on the field, your flying is doing plus 10 and your dragon is doing plus 10. So it's giving plus 20 damage to itself. So let's look at the wheel. So the wheel is a flamethrower. It's a 70 damage, and that doesn't look like it's hitting hard. It looks pretty lackluster. And 70 plus 20 is 90, and that's still lackluster. You guys like Showtime. How is this hitting hard? Like what are you talking about? Well, let's look at the actual attacks. First of all, we have 3 dodges. I would prefer to have 1 dodge, but they gave us 3, go figure. So I guess it's gonna help with status conditions, but I think 3 is a little bit overkill for the figure. You know, I would prefer just 1. And this has my favorite. It only has a 4 miss slice. So at level 5, it's gonna have no miss slice. So that's cool. It can easily go into my no miss deck. All right, so let's look at the ability. Let's look at the attack. Perish Song, 2-star purple. This Pokemon and all adjacent Pokemon gain a curse marker. A Pokemon that is knocked out in this condition is excluded from the duel. So you guys know Showtime loves to exclude, and I love curse, but curse is just a secondary ability on this Pokemon. It's not the main staple of the ability. Let's look at the other ability, or the other attack. Dragon Dance, double D. Spin again until an attack other than Dragon Dance is spun. Dragon attacks, damage attacks deal plus 50 damage. So that 90 is now doing 130. So 130 is nice, right? 130 is really nice, but you're like, Showtime, it's not gonna hit that all the time. It's rarely gonna hit that. I mean, Dragon Dance is just 20 slice of the wheel. And Flamethrower, the asterisk. If this Pokemon is knocked out, the battle opponent becomes burned. So you're burning figures, but you don't want to be knocked out. It's kind of counterproductive, right? So the question is, like, how do you run Altaria? But that's not the right question. The right question is, how many Altarias do you run? Yeah, that's right. Because the buff, the plus 10, it buffs itself. So in my opinion, you shouldn't run just 1 Altaria. In my opinion, you shouldn't run just 2 Altarias. In my opinion, you should run 3 Altarias. That's right, 3 Altarias. That way, you're giving the Altarias plus 60. So this Flamethrower is not doing 70 damage. It's doing 90 plus 20, which is 110, plus 20, which is 130. So this Flamethrower is doing 130 out the gate if you have 3 Altarias on the field. Now, if you were to land the double D attack, the Dragon Dance, now this 130 is doing 180 because it gets plus 50. So you're doing 180. Yeah, let that sink in for a second. You're doing 180 damage if the Dragon Dance hits. If Dragon Dance doesn't hit, you're doing 130. So you're still doing well. Put a couple C levels in it, and few Pokemon can knock out Altaria. I mean, go ahead and, you know, put some green cubes in it and have fun. You know, Altaria is definitely going to be a force to be reckoned with. It's boosting itself plus 20, plus 20, plus 20, so you want to run 3 of them. You know, don't mess around with evolving it. You know, just go straight for the gusto. You know, so let's look at some synergies. Let's look at, you know, what type of Pokemon can synergize with Altaria. You know, the first Pokemon that comes to mind is Zapdos. You know, Zapdos is a flying type Pokemon. You know, out the gate at level 1 is doing a 100 damage, but with 3 Altarias on the field, it's doing 130. Plus, most people run Tapu Koko, so now your Zapdos is doing 160. You know, 130 on all turns, and 160 on your turn when you have Tapu Koko. So 160 Zapdos is nothing to sneeze at. And for all you guys who put green EX cubes in Zapdos, that Zapdos is now hitting for 170. So 170 gold attacking Zapdos that can soar. You guys see where I'm going with this? You know, another Pokemon that I want you guys to take a quick look at. I mean, you can definitely, no one is going to use Rayquaza. It only has 1 movement point. I mean, it'll be nice, you know. Rayquaza is hitting for, you know, many, like really high. But, you know, you can't use it. You know, that extreme speed is going to be hitting for 170, and then its break energy is 90. But nobody's going to use it. It only has 1 movement point. So let's move on. So the next figure that's going to get a huge boost from Altaria is Noivern. That's right, because Noivern is a flying and dragon type, so it's going to get plus 20 per an Altaria on the field. So if you have 3 Altarias on the field, Noivern is getting a plus 60 damage boost. So this boom burst is doing 160. 160, and the 50 is really doing 110. So you'll have a 160, 110 Pokemon with a 2-star purple. You know, yeah. If you guys want to freshen up on Noivern, Hurricane is a 2-star purple. Your opponent's flying type Pokemon gain weight 3. You know, Boom Burst, and opposing Pokemon adjacent to the battle opponent spins. If it spins a gold attack, it's knocked out. But yeah, so basically a 160, 110 with only a 4 miss slice at level 5. You know, Altaria is going to work well with Noivern. The other Pokemon I want to show you guys they get a nice buff as well is the twin dragons, Reshiram and Zekrom. You know, Zekrom is getting a plus 30 boost from the Altarias. So this Fusion Bolt is going to be 100, and this Bolt Strike is going to be 120. If you have Tapu Koko on the field, it's going to be 150 plus 130. If your Zekrom is overdrived and you have Tapu Koko on the field, and you have 3 Altarias on the field, you're doing a massive amount of damage. Let me do the calculations. This Fusion Bolt is going to be 100, 130, 160. The Fusion Bolt will be doing 160. So the Bolt Strike is going to be doing 180 if you have all 3 Altarias on the field, if you have Tapu Koko and you're attacking, and if you have an Overdrive plate active. All these things sound like a lot, but it is very much possible. You know, Reshiram, same deal. Reshiram is getting a boost also. Of course, Reshiram doesn't get the boost from Tapu Koko, but Reshiram gets a boost from the Overdrive plate, which will give it plus 30, plus another 30 from 3 Altarias on the field. So that Blue Flare is hitting for 160, and this Fusion Flare is hitting for 130. So you have a 160, 130 Pokemon. Guys, this is phenomenal. If you guys want to take it to the next step, the next level, you guys can run Latios. I mean, yeah, seriously, you guys can run Latios. If you have 3 Altarias on the field, there's no real scary reason to run Latios if you're an experienced player. You know, this Luster Purge is going to be hitting for 180, no, 170. So 170, 130, and 90. You know, and then you take the miss down to miss 0. You know, yeah. And to boot, you know, I think the devs really want us to run it with Latios and Latias, because if you guys look at the Mega Altaria, you know, its ability is let me read the ability so you guys can understand it. Miraculous Cry. This Pokemon can MP move over other Pokemon on the field. If this Pokemon is knocked out, all your Pokemon that have been excluded from the duel and all of your Pokemon in the Ultra Space move to your bench. Your Dragon type Pokemon and your Fairy type Pokemon deal plus 10. So that means if Mega Altaria gets knocked out and you're running Latios and Latias and they get excluded, and Mega Altaria gets knocked out, you can simply just bring those back. You know, guys, in the comments down below, let me know how you feel about Altaria. You know, I think it's a sleeper. It's gonna be, I think it's meta. You know, but you don't run just one, you don't run just two, you gotta run all three. You run all three, and then you run your opponent off the field. You know, you really run them. They're gonna forfeit. You know, with all those boosts. You know, just please note, the ability Altaria doesn't really synergize with the ability of Mega Altaria, and I'll show you guys exactly why right now if I can find it. So the purple ability on Altaria is Perish Song. This Pokemon and all the adjacent Pokemon gain a curse marker. If a Pokemon that is knocked out in this condition is excluded from the duel. All right, we know how curse markers work, right? So it's cool. Well, the way how you want to use Altaria with the Perish Song is you want to land the Perish Song. Hopefully you can get 2 Pokemon to be cursed when that lands, because you'll be on a spot where you can be surrounded by 3 Pokemon, but really only 2 Pokemon are surrounding you, and you both apply the curse marker to both Pokemon. Now, in order to do that, you want to take the in order to get the curse marker off you, you have 2 options. The first option is you can use a scoop up plate, you know, but that's questionable, because you guys know how the scoop up plate works. Once you use the scoop up plate, you send your Pokemon to the bench, and now you get them back onto the field, so all markers, all status conditions are taken away from that Pokemon. That's one way. The second way to remove the curse marker from your own Altaria, because once you apply this Perish Song, you're gonna get cursed as well. You know, so the only other way to get rid of it is to Mega Evolve it. But if you Mega Evolve into Mega Altaria, so the first ability was Perish Song. Now this one is Final Song. Attaches a Final Song marker to all Pokemon within 2 steps. Pokemon with that marker are knocked out after 5 turns. So it sounds good, right? It sounds like you want to do Perish Song, get the Pokemon cursed, evolve into Mega Altaria, and then you want to land Final Song. But the only problem, and then you can exclude them forever, right? The only problem with Final Song is it's going to remove the Perish Song marker. So they're counterproductive. Developers, what are you doing? What are you doing? It would be nice if you did a Perish Song, right? Applied the curse markers to everyone, Mega Evolved into Mega Altaria, and now apply the Final Song, and you can potentially exclude 2 Pokemon at the same time. But it doesn't work that way. Instead of excluding them, if you land Final Song, it's going to remove the Perish Song marker, and then Final Song is going to prevail, and it'll simply just knock out 2 Pokemon at the same time. So guys, in the comments down below, let me know how you feel about running 3 Mega Altarias at the same time. You know, I've been like theory crafting decks, and three Altarias at the same time is going to be pretty broken. I mean, 130 or 180, you know, hitting every chance you get, that's pretty nice. But also the buffs to Zekrom and Reshiram, maybe we might see some more excluding. The buffs to Latios and Latias, maybe you might actually run Latios and Latias now. Let me know how you feel below. I mean, you might be able to run a deck with Latios as your runner. You know, how cool would that be to have Latios as a runner? I mean, the Mega Altaria will bring Latios back if it gets excluded, but with those buffs, I don't see it getting excluded unless it's surrounded. You know, so guys, in the comments down below, let me know how you feel. Type away. I'll try to answer as many comments as I can. Matter of fact, I'll answer every comment that I can. You know, this is Showtime. Signing off. Peace, trainers.